Nnamdi Kanu. Of course, the world is aware that the matter came up yesterday. Before yesterday, it was adjourned for the hearing of our application challenging the jurisdiction of the court to continue or entertain 7-count amended charge filed by the federal government against our client, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. When we file this application, which goes to the root of the charge, substantially challenging the jurisdiction of the court to hear the charge, the prosecutor, that is the federal government, filed a counter application, counter affidavit, a response to our application, and we filed our reply on law, indicating that issues have been adjourned by the parties. The matter was consequently adjourned to 18th, being yesterday, for hearing. So we left. That was December last year. Getting set for legal onslaught of yesterday. Because the essence of that application is that if the application succeeds, that will be the end of that case in court. And our client will be freed. The charge will be dismissed, and he will be freed and be acquitted. Because what we're saying is that the 7-count charge, amended charge, filed against him by the federal government, not disclose any offense by the allegations contained therein. Because we cannot put something on nothing and expect it to stand. He who alleged must prove. And the law is that at this point in time, if such allegations are being leveled against somebody, there must be what they call proof of evidence that will attach to the charge. It may look at that proof of evidence will show what you expected to see in court at the point of trial, whether the allegations as contained in the paper, whether they can be sustained by that proof of evidence. So we have critically looked at this amended 7-count charge and arrive at an opinion, conclusion that they did not disclose an offense committed by our client. So we file an application to challenge it in line with the provisions of the law. Then 24 hours before the date slated for the hearing of this application, we are served with another amendment to the charge. If the federal government is seriously disposed towards ensuring speedy trial of this case, or if at all they have a case against our client, the business of court yesterday was to hear this application challenge the decision of the court. And if the court hears it and said, look, this application is not meritorious, we can proceed with trial, then we move on. And if the court hears it and said, look, there is no charge before me, there is no offense disclosed by the charge you file against this man, and as such, I will not call him to go into trial because of trial. He has to go. Then that will be the end of the case. But because they don't want the matter to go on, they amended their charge, filed and served us 24 hours before the date set for the hearing of the case. So in that case, it wasn't amended in good faith. And the essence or intendment is nothing but to truncate the proceedings of yesterday, which they succeeded in doing, because we are ambushed. So it's an application apparently filed in abuse of court process. You're not given time to look at the charge. You're not given time to interact with our client before the date. The matter was adjourned for hearing. That was yesterday. So we said, okay, no problem. We came to court yesterday. The court was told that our client cannot take plea to the charge because this is not a banana republic. This is a country founded on rule of law, and this is a democratic institution. Justice must be done to all parties, all manner of parties. Not only be done, it must be manifestly be seen to be done to parties. We objected, and our objection was upheld by the court. And consequently, I joined the matter to take for him to take plea, allowing us time to have interaction with him on the strength of the charge before. We have looked at the amended 15 count charge. That charge, the recent one they filed, is as useless, worthless as a paper you can probably as a drafting sheet paper. It's even more frivolous, more founded, more ridiculous than even this amended 7 count charge because it's for the duplicity of counts and a number of deficiencies and issues. So the entire 15 count amended charge discloses no offense against Nnamdi. That I can assure you for sure, 100%. And we have done the needful. We are awake throughout the night. Of course, you had the SN visiting us who told you when we went to bed this morning at 4 a.m. this morning. We worked on trial and they wrote about for 2-page documents. That's the objection to the charge. And we were able to demystify the 15 count charge one by one. We took them one by one and sufficiently addressed it. So, and on the face of that application, the court cannot proceed. Because application is not only important, it's fundamental to the jurisdiction of the court. What we are saying is that in view of the fact that this amended 15 count charge preferred against our client disclosed no single offense whatsoever that he has committed, that substantially bereft the court of the jurisdiction to proceed. But there's no charge before the court. So we're now inviting the court in the second set to examine what to file before him. Take decision one way or the other and determine, first of all, whether there's a charge before him. If the court found there is no charge, that the charge file is as good as worthless paper, as good as drafting sheet, as good as tissue paper, the court will have the option that to do the needful by dismissing the charge in its entirety and acquit our client. So, of course, you see today the court made it abundantly clear that she will hear this application before proceeding. So that was actually what happened today. However, I wish to observe, because I want to tell you what transpired in open court because we weren't there. There was a report of compliance, partial compliance order of court made by the system services. The reported compliance on aspect of some directive given by the court on the welfare of our client. The reported compliance so much to have been further prompted. Apart from the fact that the issue of his dressing was also discussed because courts mandated them that they should change his clothes. It should be changed, clothes should be changed before today's hearing. But their predicament was explained to the court and also to us before the court started. However, that should have been resolved by now because we are making some clothes available to him. So, other issues and strategies we intend to adopt in the course of the hearing or trial, we will remain private. But I can assure you that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. That is settled. That I can assure you. So, I believe today is a good day, and of course, you can see our clients very delighted about the outcome of today's proceeding. So, we have no doubt whatsoever that our defense has been fortified, and there's no escape route.
All right, thank you very much, Barrister. One question and concern I have here is, I've been an old man in this case, ranging from when I would allow me to say during the first missionary journey of Nnamdi Kanu. I mean, the first time he was arrested and brought to court, there were various occasions, the FG, the prosecution did amend charges upon charges in the middle of trials. They would, from nowhere, bring and attack charges, trump up charges, just to truncate the proceedings. And this time around, the second missionary journey, so to say, do we have any hope saying that such thing would not happen or repeat itself?
Thank you so much. We have to be mindful of the fact that the entire schedule of the court, also the entire movement of the case.
Exactly my point.
And we the defense team will not put our hands because they want to railroad us into taking taking a dimension that will please that will give them what they want. So we have to advise ourselves when such thing happen. We have to smart enough to understand the strategy they're adopting, which is dangerous to our case, and also to adjust to a strategy or a strategy that will assist our case. So that was why we said no, we can't proceed. If they had wanted them to go on, they would have gone on yesterday. If the court has had our application yesterday, so the court will done the application for ruling. Then or proceed for trial if the court so pleases. But they have a reason for filing this amendment at 11th hour. At 11th hour. You won't tell me that the prosecutor were not there since December last year. They were there. I don't think they traveled for this part because they were here working. If they had wanted to amend the process in good faith, they would have done that and would have responded promptly without wasting time. So the court was that situation. That reckless amendment they usually embarked upon was also brought to the attention of the court. The court is fully familiar with that. And but the His Chief actually isn't particularly impressed because he expressed an open court. So, and we put it on record that if actually they want this matter to go on, they should stop amendment. They should stop it. Let's go on with this case. Because any further amendment to the charge will also affect what you are doing and delay the proceedings, elongate the proceedings. Because once the schedule of the court is truncated, it will affect the proceedings of the court and it will delay the proceedings. By now, we should be talking about a date for ruling on application challenging the decision of the court. But today, we're talking about a date to hear it. I hope they will not further amend their process and file again on 15th of February against 16 scheduled for hearing. I hope so.
That's okay.
I hope so. But what you know that from the antecedents, since 2015, we've been in this matter. This is the sixth time the federal government of Nigeria, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, is amending the charge filed against the defender, against Nnamdi Kanu. So let them hope that they will not amend further, so I can proceed. You accuse somebody of committing an offense, 5 frivolous charges in court, which the essence is just to ensure that he's detained ad infinitum. And we said no, release him. Otherwise, look at our application challenging the competence of the charge and also the decision of the court. Hear it. Take the decision one way or the other. Allow the court to rule. Afford the court opportunity to look at what was filed before, what is filed before her. and deliver in one way or the other. Then we can take it off from there. You shouldn't continue to amend process consistently. It's not good for the administration of justice. It's not also good for this kind of trial, particularly when our client is in detention. His liberty is at stake. They should release him, grant him bail, hear application, decide and grant him bail. Then we can come back. If you want to continue to amend, no problem. Once it's free, if you want to amend to 100 count charge, we are here for you. We don't have problem. But let him be free. Here the one we are saying that he must be released unconditionally. Here the one we are saying that the charge before you, before the file before the court, a frivolous charge counts that cannot even be sustained by proof evidence. Let me give an instance. Okay, I won't say this because I don't want to preempt them. I will have said something that is very fundamental to what they file, but I don't want to preempt them anymore. I won't preempt them again.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I have two questions regarding this. All of the questions are connected to what happened yesterday during the court's decision. The court decided that, number one, that the Department of State Security Services allows the defendant a change of clothing, as you have just touched. I just want to ask, couldn't there be a fine? Because it is clear that the DSS has defiantly disobeyed this court order. You know, since last year, the court has repeatedly pointed on this, and it is clear as well. The whole world is saying that Nnamdi Kanu has this clothing on since the 29th of June, when he was extradited illegally to Nigeria. What do you have to say about this, please?
Okay, let me explain this in a manner you understand. This was the other court made yesterday. And of course, you are aware, by the substantive order of court on visiting Nnamdi Kanu, our client, Nnamdi Kanu, in this facility where he's been detained, we're only allowed to visit him Mondays and Thursdays. And yesterday was Tuesday. And we don't also want DSS to get clothes for him. That's the point. We don't want them. We want to undertake it. The family has already done that for him. And what they are saying is that the family will not have the opportunity to visit him yesterday, taking into consideration the time the proceedings ended. So since they are coming tomorrow to see him, and they should come with the clothes. That was what I explained to the court, because obviously we don't want to give them the opportunity to go and so get a clothes for him. I don't want that. We don't want that to happen. So let me see what plays out tomorrow, because hopefully tomorrow they will make available to him the clothes already brought for him. So let me see what plays out. If anything happened to the contract, then we'll take it off from there. Because this time around, of course, we heard about what happened in court yesterday.
Yes.
Because severally we have initiated committed proceedings against the Director General of SSS on account of gross violation of court orders, flouting of court orders with impunity. So in those two occasions, the registrar of the Federal High Court refused to sign processes incidental thereto. So apparently frustrating the process. That was made known to the court yesterday. So, and courts reprimanded, admonished them to ensure that his or her orders are obeyed. Because the court will not be dishing out orders without orders of the court being respected. So if the courts will make an order, then establishment will not obey. Then what are we doing in court? What are we doing there? Because that was also brought to the attention of the court. If you are in court for justice, for our client to be given justice, that means if at the end of the day the court said this trial, this charge, the application in file challenging the competence of this charge is meritorious, I hereby dispute the entire charge and acquit our client, thereby asking him to go. That means they will not allow him to go.
Yes,
they will allow him to
that's
go.
what it means.
So if the order of the court must be obeyed at this point in time, so that by tomorrow, if you get some superior orders of the court, superior orders, fundamental orders, then they also obey it. So I also commend them for partial compliance with court order, because there are some other issues around, we're expecting them to comply with. Particularly in regard to directive given by the court last year, December, and penultimate proceedings. So we are expecting them to comply with the entire directive, which is order of course given. So the issue of his rest will be taken up at next adjourned date if they fail to honor what will happen tomorrow. The clothes have been taken here to him tomorrow to use. So if they refuse them access to those clothes, then I'll even make it public. I won't even wait for the next agenda. I'll make it public. Of course, I don't I don't keep it for so long. I'll tell you what about what is playing out. So that's all. That's settled.
Okay, that's okay. Barrister, in simple answer now, just this question is following the former. Could you please tell us what about the decision by the court for transfer, or should I say the application for transferring the defendant from the DSS custody to the correctional center, the prison custody? Knowing fully well that in the DSS custody, there are a lot of restrictions therein. Yesterday, we had you mention about the bugging of his room, about being, confined in a place where he doesn't even receive, free flow of air and all that. So, what do you have to say about that?
I may not effectively discuss this topic, for reasons known to me. Well, we learn our lessons every day because a number of things are being dished out to the public. This topic is very pivotal to us because we are working on something that will lead to court intervention. So, of course, what we are doing now, public is watching it. So, I wouldn't want to tell you what we are going to do tomorrow on that, or what we are doing already. Because if I tell you now, they will find a way to circumvent it.
That's okay.
Circumvent that process. So, but I can assure you that it will be addressed. We are working assiduously to ensure that applications we wish to file in that regard. We have already filed an application, but we're taking further steps to do one more application, which I may not discuss in this platform. That application will resolve this issue.
That's okay.
Predicated fundamentally on the flouting of court orders and the other infringements and prejudice which we are passing through, and he also is passing through in the custody of the DSS. So we are going to ventilate them before the court. We know we should discuss in the public domain because once I say a word here, they are watching me every day. Once I say a word, they will go back to the drawing board or to the table to go and correct to see how to put their house in order. That may be the reason why what happened yesterday. That may be responsible for what happened yesterday. But they're waiting for me to come, for yesterday to come. So they were ambitious. So, and we have learned our lessons. So if all the process will find out, we're not going to make anyone public again. So we'll keep it to ourselves. If you want anybody that wants any court process, should go to court and obtain it. But for us to make public, we'll stop it. We can't make any further process for public again. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister. Finally, during the court proceeding, there was also a concurrent case going on at the High Court in Abia State regarding the fundamental human right, of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And we also learned that there was a win-win at the other end, a lot of rewards, or awards, so to say, that was allotted to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and all that. Could you please tell us, is there any way this win-win could be a stepping stone or a green light or whatever favor to this case at the Federal High Court, Abuja?
Thank you so much. We are delighted to hear about, to receive the news of the judgment. In my own, I commend my colleague who also is in the matter, who has been following up on the matter, handling the matter. I commend them. It's a fundamental right action. The court also, the most interesting part, which I fashion, is the fact that the court, in its wisdom, condemning its entirety the illegal invasion of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu premises. There are bloody onslaught in his house, killings, and attack, and consequently directed federal government to tender apology to him. Because what I'm saying is that there's no amount of money you pay to amount of damage you are what to the Mazuna to probably to compensate him for what has taken place, for the lives lost in his house, and also for the damage done to his premises. And also, do you know you have killed him?
Of course, of
course.
And
even he died, are you talking about will 1 billion naira be enough to compensate the family? No.
Of course. And a dead man doesn't face trial.
Because now they can't worth billions of dollars,
Very well.
Billions of pounds, worth billions of euros today. So I am more at home with the fact that the court condemned that invasion and the attack and the killings that took place here, and also directed the federal government to tender apology, just like what happened in my house when the court also issued awarded damage. I'm not concerned about damages awarded against the security agents that invaded my house.
Having recognized there was something,
but in fact that the court condemned the invasion of my house, the killing, the carnage there. So this goes ahead to send a strong message to the world, because the judgment also we use in international court. Judgment to obtain today we use international court to establish a point. To establish a point worth more than money. That's my interest. That's my happiness. Because if the courts, the judiciary is not checkmating these excesses of the security agents, the courts not checkmating them, then they will continue unabated. I can assure you that if this judgment are obtained just last month, December 2nd, against the people that invaded my house a year after, was delivered before June 6th, 2021. My house, they will not come to my house again to kill my PA and bond him. That second invasion would have taken place. But because they came the first time and succeeded. The second time they came again. Nothing happened. But by virtue of the fact that court has made a pronouncement, the invasion of Mazuna and Kanu premises in the manner they did, killings that took place there, where over 28 persons were murdered in cold blood. Innocent people who are harmless, were murdered in cold blood, is condemnable. It's a crime against humanity.
Of course.
And consequently directed the federal government to tender apology. It goes a long way.
Very well.
It goes a long way to tell them that there is serious problem for them before the international court and before the criminal court is too. So, and I believe that the security agents will learn their lesson and operate within the confines of the law establishing the agency, because they've been so vicious, they've been so lawless, they've been so reckless. See what happened in court today. But see what happened in court today. The situation outside the court was peaceful, because I have constantly admonished people who are coming in solidarity to identify with Nnamdi Kanu. His fans, his supporters, who are coming there to be civil, and they have consistently been civil in their conduct over there. Even yesterday, nobody noticed that people were there. They were just clapping and singing without any form of violence. Until today, when you see criminals who were heavily armed, made up of Alsas and Fulanis that came to attack innocent people within the court premises.
They were sponsored, I believe.
They were coming, the security agents were there watching them. Helplessly, there was not any form of resistance on their part. They have their few, they have their way. They have their few days. Attacking innocent people. It happened today. So these are things that will tell you that we have a long way to go. Even outside the court premises, the camera of the court captured the entire thing that happened. And some media houses, some reporters, pressmen were attacked today. Cameras were snatched. Cameras were destroyed today in the presence of security agents, and nobody speaking.
Of course.
So these are things that are condemnable.
I nearly escaped the stampede.
You see, so these are things that need to be addressed as quick as possible. We're in a democracy. And I believe we should all operate within the confines of law. We should be protected by the law. We should be protected by these security agents, not to be attacked by them, against all odds. That's my plea to them. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much, Barrister. The next adjourned date for this, please.
The next adjourned date is February 16th. As a matter of fact, of course, I made it public. Tomorrow, date has been vacated. The matter is no longer coming up tomorrow, being 20th of January. It's coming up on 16th for hearing of application, challenging the decision of the court to hear the charge. So that is a very fundamental application. Yes. So, and the court said you will hear it and determine the application, rule on it one way or the other before taking further step. So that's what the place of the court on 6th of February 2022. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is my pleasure being with you, Barrister, the lead counsel of Ipob. You have just spoken with the Biafra Times, the correspondent of Biafra Times here, Chikwa Sonwipe, and this interview session is being streamed on Biafra TV. Thank you very much for having me, or should I say thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. God bless you.
All right, thank you.
I wish you safe journey back to your destination.
Thank you.
Remain blessed.
Thank you.